I figured I'd take a few minutes and explain some of the one of the advantages of GSM technology, which is unlocked cell phones. And I'm going to read you a little piece of information that I found on the web about them, and I'll give you some practical examples of how one might use this feature of the GSM network. Before anybody asks, yes, these are my iPod earbuds. They are the only headphones that I have working at this point. That aside, let's get to the article. I will go ahead and give you the link to the article to read it for yourself. So, here's the drill. Some cell phones are designed to use a subscriber identification module, SIM card, or microchip that stores the subscriber data. The SIM card is issued by a carrier and provides cell service by activating any phone into which it is inserted. A locked phone, however, will only recognize a SIM card from a particular carrier. If the cell phone is unlocked, it will recognize a SIM card from any carrier. I'm going to pause here really quick. This is one of the great advantages to accessible cell phones in the GSM market. We have a phone that has no screen and talks to you. In other words, it's a completely vocal interface, audio interface. That phone is unlocked. It's an unlocked GSM phone. In order to do such a phone here in the States, you would have to have the cooperation of Verizon or Sprint. And to be honest, I think they are the least accessible providers in the sense of actually providing accessibility to the consumer. I was told that they offered a phone that had the screen reader talks aboard, specifically for the Motorola Q9 Charlie. And within about a week, that phone vanished. So, back to the article. The lock is a software setting that keeps the cell phone loyal to one carrier. I should note that the words lock and loyal are in quotes. In areas like the United States, where carriers offer free or deeply discounted phones with cell plans, the phones are commonly locked so that they will not work with other carriers. Carriers claim that this is necessary to subsidize the cost of the phones. After a period of time, a carrier might agree to unlock the phone upon request, perhaps charging a fee. However, due to proprietary settings sometimes installed in locked handsets, the phones don't always function correctly with other carriers even once unlocked. From the viewpoint of the consumer, the practice of carriers locking phones and using proprietary settings defeats many of the benefits of SIM handsets. Complaints led to a class action suit filed in California in June of 2004 by the American watchdog group Foundation for Taxpayer and Consumer Rights, FTCR. Ideally, phones should be left unlocked, or at least unlocked after the initial contract expires. In other words, you sign up for a 2-year contract with AT&T, and that 2-year contract expires, they should offer to unlock your phone. Back to the article. One way to get an unlocked phone without proprietary settings is to buy it new from a third-party vendor in its original unlocked state. The downside is that the price is commonly close to full retail. And I'm going to stop here real quick and explain this. One of the phones on my list was the Nokia E71X. That phone is $100 on contract. Unfortunately, AT&T crippled it to the point where it cannot function with the Macintosh, and a couple of other things they've done. They've taken away the dual home screens. In other words, you cannot have a home screen for your work stuff, or in my case, since I'm a student, I couldn't have a home screen for my school stuff and a home screen for my personal stuff. They disabled that. Also, there's not too much personalization you can do to the home screen. What you see is what you get. The unlocked phone, the E71, is $350. $350 for the same piece of hardware that you can get for $100 on AT&T with contract. Now that's a pretty steep price, especially if you're on a budget. And that's one of the disadvantages to unlocked phones. One of the advantages, though, besides being able to operate on any network is also the ability to, they don't cripple it. It's directly from the manufacturer, no provider involvement. Back to the article. Some consumers might find it tough to dish out big bucks for a phone that they can get free for free with a plan. The advantage is that the third-party unlocked phone should work equally well with any carrier that uses SIM cards. Unlocked cell phones are in such demand that third-party services will unlock your cell phone for a fee. This doesn't guarantee the phone will always work correctly, as proprietary settings might remain. There are also hacking instructions online to unlock many models of phones, but a phone that is unlocked improperly can be rendered inoperable. Carriers operating on the GSM network use SIM cards. In the United States, this includes Singular Wireless, now AT&T. Sorry, I jumped ahead of myself. Back to the article. Now one with AT&T Wireless. Basically, it took the words right out of my mouth. And T-Mobile. Carriers that use the competing CDMA network do not yet use card-enabled phones. And if you will look at my video on LTE technology, you will take a look and see that they will use it in the future. These carriers include Sprint PCS, Verizon, and Virgin Mobile. The CDMA equivalent of the SIM card, the RUIM, will be used by these carriers in the future, as I already said. RUIM cards are already in use in some parts of Asia. Now, not all unlocked phones are expensive. Let's say you have a phone, you just want a basic phone, and you can get it for $30, $40 unlocked. Now, why would you want to get an unlocked phone? Well, in the article they talked about being able to use it with any available network. Let's put it this way. Let's say you're on AT&T, right? And you're going to a part of the country that you have never been to before, and you're so busy that you did not have time to check the coverage maps, or you don't even know how to do that. And when you get there, you realize AT&T coverage stinks. But you have an unlocked phone, and you realize that T-Mobile has perfect coverage. So what can you do? Well, because the phone is unlocked, and it'll work with any carrier, you could just go down to the local drugstore, purchase a prepaid T-Mobile SIM, pop it in there, and you can go ahead and use the T-Mobile prepaid card in your unlocked phone without any issues. Unlocked phones also offer a great advantage in the accessible cell phone community. A lot of the Nokia-based handsets with the Talks screen reader are available unlocked. You have to buy the screen reader separate, but a lot of the Nokia handsets that Talks will work with are available unlocked. The talking cell phone that I mentioned earlier, it is called the Oasis, OWASYS 22C. This phone is available for $550 unlocked. Now that is expensive, but the reason is because it's a specialized phone. It's for a very small market. Another advantage of another example of using unlocked GSM technology, the Icon Mobile Manager, which is a Linux-based PDA, really nice device, 40 gig hard drive, Bluetooth, wireless access to the terminal because it runs command line, because it runs Linux. Well, the people that are developing it have built in a GSM phone module, and they are working on the software. It will be available to essentially turn this device into a fully accessible smartphone. So what did they use to make it accessible? GSM technology, and more than likely it will be available unlocked. This way you can go with T-Mobile, AT&T, or you can take it abroad, use it with Vodafone, Orange, O2 in the United Kingdom. It's just a lot easier to manufacture for the GSM network. It's a lot easier. GSM, you don't need a phone carrier's cooperation to get a phone out there. And because of that, unlocked phones are huge. You can get, if you're not happy with the provider's phone, you can get an unlocked phone and be happy. That's one of the great advantages to GSM. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.